Hello children, today we'll start with the question answer. As I've already told you children, the thing which we have to do is we have to look to each and everything. We cannot afford to rather miss anything. I'll just brief you the lesson again. The children of an elementary slum school, they look like pathetic and miserable. They have pale faces. Their disorderly hairs look like rootless weeds. They are stunted figures with twisted bones, inheriting diseases of their parents. And these children belong to the dirty world. Why dirty world? Actually, they live in slums, the world full of cramped holes. And the map of the world on the wall, what does it symbolize? It symbolizes the world of the powerful, rich, and important people. So, the gap between the two worlds how can it be abridged? Children, it can be abridged if these children are removed from their dirty surroundings and made to enjoy fresh air and have physical as well as mental development. In case if we look at the first question is, what does the poet want for the children of the slums? Children, what does he expects? What does Stephen Spender expects? So the poet wishes for a better life for the children of the slums. They should have access to education because education is the key to prosperity. They should be given countless opportunities to explore the world of their weak world into a world which should welcome them. Welcome them with open arms. The self-centered attitude of the affluent classes, affluent is rich classes, affluent classes should be broken to relieve the children from all miseries, from all the worries. They should be relieved. And this is what I told you just now, that he wants that the gap between the two worlds should be abridged by removing them from their dirty surroundings. The poet wants that they should be given a proper healthy living, and they should also enjoy fresh air. Children, now there is a description. See, this is not the question. This is not the question, I'm telling you again. This is not the question. Why have I written the description of slum children? In case if the question comes, these are the important points. These are the important points. In case of description of slum children comes, then you will write down the tall girl with head weighed down. Why? With sadness, disinterestedness, or shame. Three of them. Sadness, why? Because she is poor. Disinterestedness, because she is not finding anything relevant. In case if we find anything relevant, in case if we find anything which is connected to our world, we find that thing interesting. And shame, why? Maybe because she is over age and she is sitting over there. So I have mentioned this thing, that you should be clear cut enough about the poem. The poem, in this poem, children, don't take this poem very easy. This poem is quite tough. So description of slum children, I have specially I have mentioned it. The tall girl with head weighed down with sadness, disinterestedness, or shame. I've told you, three of you, why she was behaving like that. She's probably overaged for the class. Now, second thing is thin, emaciated boy like paper. He was mentioned. I have underlined this word because you're going to find it out yourself. When we do things on our own, children, it is very easy for me. I can tell you, when I tell you each and everything, I can tell you the word. But the thing is, when we do things ourselves, we learn things. So this is this is the only reason I tell you, emaciated and furtive. You are going to, I have underlined and made an arrow so that you can find out the word, the meaning of that particular word. So thin, emaciated boy like paper. The paper boy has been treated like a paper. Why he was called like a paper? Because he was very thin, he was very weak, and his eyes pop out looking furtive like a rat's. Rats, why? In the summary and the explanation also I told you. Here rat, it is told because he is a little bit a greedy sort. He is a little bit greedy sort. He is waiting for something to eat. That is why he's compared to a rat. Now the third was the third child which was mentioned is a boy with stunted growth who has inherited a disease. He has inherited a disease, children, resulted in twisting. The boy with started growth who has inherited a disease resulted in twisted. Children, he has inherited a disease which is he has inherited the disease, the growth of bones from his father. He has been suffering from a disease which his father might have suffered. So Spender uses, the Spender is a poet over here. He uses the word reciting. This I have specially mentioned, children, in case if the question comes that why the word reciting is mentioned over here. So you will write down reciting. Why when we recite, we are sometimes mindless. We are reading without understanding. Reciting, we have just crammed, we have just learned the text and then we recite. So he says that the word reciting over here means to show mindlessly reading without understanding the boy, and he has only his inherited crippling disease. Crippling is a little bit lame, the person who is not able to walk properly. So he's been suffering from that crippling disease to show in the class. Now the fourth child which is mentioned is right at the back of the badly lit room. The children, the classroom was not properly lit, and it is an unnoticed. A boy who is sitting over there, he's unnoticed, and he's totally engulfed in his own dreams. Right at the back of the badly lit room is an unnoticed young boy lost in a world of dreams. He daydreams of a squirrel's game. Now, what is he dreaming about? Children, he is dreaming about playing with a squirrel and about the tree house. He is absent mentally from the classroom. He was physically present in the class, and he was mentally absent from the class. Sometimes it happens with everyone. So it is your wish. Question you have to pen down. Please listen very carefully to the video. In case if you want to write down the description, I have already first I have elaborated the description of slum children. In case if you want to write down, it will really help you out. So better pen down things. Don't worry. Description of the classroom. How is the classroom been described as? So write down whatever is given to you. It will help you out. This poem is not easy. This poem is quite tough. So I have taken out the points specially for you so that you can understand each and every word, each and everything. Children, now if we talk about the description of the classroom, so the word sar is being used. Na? Sar used to describe the cream walls of the classroom. It indicates the derelict condition. You have to find out the meaning of derelict. I have underlined the word. It is in a worsened condition, children, and the children they were, it was their pathetic condition. They feel miserable over there. So the word the this symbolizes that the walls over there, they were not properly painted, they were not properly mended, and they were not proper in a good condition. Now, he further adds on that contradicting this state and the slum children are posters and pictures. There is a contradictory statement. In case if we say that walls are sad, but on those walls, there the classroom walls, they were in a state of a, you can always say this thing also, that the classroom walls are in a state of neglect. They are in a, they nobody has cared about it, nobody, it was in a derelict condition, and they were poverty stricken rather. Now he further says that the contradictory statement is, on that particular wall there are the posters and the pictures which the children can't relate to. See, the children, whatever we see, we relate to those things, we correlate the things in case if we see anything. And the contradictory statement over here is, the pictures which are hung over there, the children, they are not able to correlate that picture. First picture was Shakespeare head, indicating, what does it indicating, children? It is erudition. In case if you're not able to find out the word, it is Erudition. You're going to find out the meaning. It is Erudition. Okay. Now, indicating erudition. The picture of Shakespeare, in case if we talk about the Shakespeare picture, why the children, they hate the picture of Shakespeare? Actually, Shakespeare's Wicked and the Map, and a bad example, this particular line has been used. Actually, Shakespeare holds no importance for them. For the children, his works are meaningless. Why? Because they cannot change their destiny, they cannot change their fate, they cannot change their lives. So it is meaningless. Now he talks about, in the second point, picture of a clear sky at dawn. Dawn means I've already sometimes told you, dawn means early morning, and dusk means evening. So the clear sky at dawn and a beautiful Trioles Valley. One of the child, he asked me the meaning of Trioles Valley. Children, Trioles Valley, actually it is pertaining to the Tyrol. It is an Austrian Alpine province. It is an Austrian Alpine province. Okay, so indicating beauty of nature and hope, but they don't have any of the hope left with them. They do not. They are confined to the narrow streets of slums. The children are not attracted by the map rather, and then it comes with the dome of an ancient city building standing for civilization and progress. Now doom was there and it shows civilization, but for them civilization doesn't mean anything. They are confined, they are confined to the narrow streets of slums. Now the fourth is the world map awarding the children the progressive and the developed world, but for them the world is limited. Now, if I come to the world of the slum children, if we talk about their condition, what was their condition? What was the world of the slum children? Description of the world of the slum children. The first point is, they were limited to the world seen through the windows of the classroom and not what the map promises. They were confined to the windows of the classroom and not what the map promises. Now the next irony is when contrasted with the misery and hopeless condition of the slum children. Children, see, the irony over here is, they have been contrasted with the misery and hopeless conditions, and they were living in a very very poor condition. They were living in the slum with dull dreary atmosphere of the bleak future, and the poet portrays the poverty in the poem. Their future is foggy, bleak, and dull. Their future is they are hopeless uh, regarding their future. Now, in case if we go with the fourth point, their life is confined within the narrow streets of the slum. Their life is restricted to the narrow streets of the slum. They have to be there only. By the dull sky, indicating a bleak future. In case if we talk about far away from rivers, seas, that indicate adventure and learning. far away from rivers. They cannot see the beautiful sceneries. Now, the next point is cut off from the stars that stand for words that can empower their futures. They cannot see the stars. They cannot empower their future. Now, the last point, lead sky symbolizes the bleak, dull life and the future of the slum children. See, children, I have mentioned each and every word. In case if the question comes separately, you are able to answer because the point would be clear to you. Lead sky, I have already mentioned. What does it symbolize? If the question comes, it symbolizes the bleak, dull life and future of the slum children. And if we talk about Shakespeare and the maps are bad examples. Why Shakespeare and map? This question I have given you separately also. Don't worry. This is very important question that why Shakespeare and maps are treated as bad examples. Why have been they? So the head of Shakespeare and the map are cruel temptations for these children. Why they are cruel temptation for these children? Because children, they cannot correlate. Their works are meaningless. The world is confined to the classroom only. The world is confined to the narrow street of the slums only. So they are cruel temptations. Second point, they live in cramped houses whose life revolve around dullness and hopelessness as they imagine and long for adventure, for a better future and for love. So they are confined, they are hopeless, and as they imagine and long for adventure, for a better future, they long for it, they crave for it, they wish for the adventure, children. Now, what is the hope left for them? So the hope is their life confined is they are restricted to this slum that encloses their lives like underground cemeteries. What do you mean by, children? Cemeteries. Children, cemeteries are underground graves, you can say. So cemeteries, he says that it is enclosed over there. They are restricted over there. So what is the hope left? Life can change for the better if some initiative is taken by the poet says that the initiative should be taken by the authorities, by the authorities of like governor, inspector of the schools, or anyone. The authority should be taken, the gap should be abridged. And in the third point, he says that we need to break the barriers. We need to break the barriers that divides society into have and have nots. He says that we have to break those barriers. Now, if I come up to the first extract, children, the first extract, you can say, you can pen down things. The first extract is, at the back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in a tree room other than this. So now the very first question which comes is, why is the class dim? Children, the class is dim. Sorry. The class is dim because okay. Why is the class dim? The class is dim because children have pale and lifeless faces. The class is dim because children have pale and lifeless faces. Second question, why is the child called sweet and young? The child is called sweet and young because he has some dreams. When the others are miserable, he has some dreams in his eyes. Now, what does the child want to enjoy? He wants to play some outdoor games, and especially with the squirrel, he wants to go there. He wants to play some outdoor games. What is the significance of the phrase other than this? Children, the phrase signifies the child's desire to some interesting places different from his dull and dim classroom. This phrase signifies that he wants to go, he wants to visit some interesting places, he wants to go away from the dull and dim classroom. Now, the second para which is coming up is, on their slacks heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle bits on stone. Children, I've already explained you this thing earlier also, that they are living in a very miserable condition. These are deprived children, they lack nutrition, and rather, in case if they are wearing spectacles, they are mended one, fitted with the stones, which they are making compromises in their lives. So who are these children? And second question is, what is their slag heap? And third question coming up is, why are their bones peeping through their skins? So we can write down that these children are slum children. uh, the first question was, who are these children? These children are slum children. Second question, what is their slag heap? Children, their slag heap is the heap of waste where these slum children wander aimlessly. Where these slum children, it is children, in case if you are not able to see, it is where these slum children wander aimlessly. They roam here and there on the heap of waste. Third question coming up is, why are their bones peeping through their skins? Why are their bones peeping through their skins? Children, their bones are peeping through their skins because they are undernourished and poverty has reduced. Listen carefully in case if you're not able to see that word. Their bones are peeping through their skins because they are undernourished and poverty has reduced their body to a mere skeleton. And poverty has reduced their body to a mere skeleton. Now, if we come up to the last question of this particular extract is, what does with mended glass mean? Children, mended glass means repaired glass. Now coming up to the third question, on sour cream walls ... world. So what is the condition of the classroom wall? I have already told you the classroom walls are in a state of neglect. The classroom walls are in a state of neglect. Listen very carefully. They are turned. The word is they. They are turned into sour cream and poverty stricken. I'll send this page again, so don't worry, listen very carefully. I'll send it. The classroom walls are in a state of neglect. They are turned into sour cream and poverty stricken. What aspects show a civilized race? Children, the picture of Trioles Valley, the portrait of Shakespeare, map and the dome of ancient city buildings shows a civilized race. Civilized race means the people, educated people, the people with power, money. So the third question is, what is speciality of the Trioles Valley? Children, the Trioles Valley is full of colorful flowers and the music of bells. Now, this line is very important and it can come in your exam, that explain awarding the world its world. Children, the answer is, the map and pictures are donations which are awarded to the slum children. They give them a glimpse of the world of the rich people. The map and the picture, children, they are donations. They have been given, they have been donated to the slum children, and they give them the glimpse of the world of the rich people. The rich people, it tells them how the rich people live. So it tells them about the glimpse of the world of the rich people, but the world of slum children is dark and hopeless. It is dark and hopeless. They don't find anything interesting in the pictures. I hope you have understood. Some of the questions are left. We'll discuss it tomorrow.